Zolaman R1, we're back, guys.
Let's go.
We've got Joe Rogan, Creepy Stories.
Creepy.
Compilation. Let's go.
Creepy.
Man like Joe Rogan, do you like him?
He's alright.
The darkest story that I ever heard. I don't know if this is true, but let's pretend it is. There was some sort of an expedition, and their boat hit some ice, and so their boat started sinking. And they had a real problem because the next boat was hours away. So they call in a mayday for the next boat, and they climb out of the boat in time before it sinks, and they get to an ice shelter, an ice island. In the distance, they see a polar bear. Fuck. And it's many, many ice land bridges or whatever the fuck.
Whatever ice distance that is.
Ice island away.
Ice steps.
But it keeps jumping in the water and getting closer. Fuck, man. He's trying to figure out what the fuck they are.
Polar
And then finally it gets to them. Finds out what they are. It's in the
Monster.
ice island next to them.
Polar bear.
Jumps in the water, pops up, grabs one guy. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Fuck.
Ew.
Takes him, kills him, drags him in the water again, goes back on the other ice island, just starts eating him.
And they're just chilling, watching it.
They're one ice island away, hoping that he doesn't stay hungry after he eats their friend.
Hey, the
Carl,
polar bears?
who recently passed
Dangerous.
away. Carl had the weirdest story. So he got in a fight with his wife, and he got kicked out of his house, and he went to the comedy store and
This guy
decided
was a
he
sick
was
man. I
going to
remember
on the
this guy.
stage in the main room. And he's like, man, I'm gonna fucking make it. I'm sleeping on this stage. She's gonna kick me out of the house, but one day I'll fucking show you. And so like he's drunk and he lays down on the stage, and then he hears a door shut. And he goes, hey, it's Carl. It's me, Carl. Who is that? And then he doesn't hear shit. And then he hears chairs moving. He hears like clink, 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 clink. And he's sitting there, he's going, what the fuck is going on? And something grabs his ankle and pulls him off the stage onto the floor. And then he hears chairs moving again, and bam, the door shuts and slams, and nothing else.
Yo, mad. That's
This is
creepy.
so scary. A few days ago, in the Bermuda Triangle, an advanced German bunker from World War II has been discovered.
Yeah, I heard about it.
It was housing documents about a moon station in 1941 and confirmed communication with extraterrestrials. These documents raise questions about secret space projects before the official space age. And nobody knows how the Germans built so far down in the ocean and why they need a complete working bunker in the Bermuda Triangle. But the scariest thing is that one of them explorers took photos and posted it. And you can tell how this is way too expensive just for a prank or something. The factual scenario, coupled with UFOs, sightings of aliens, and an old-looking naval ship from the 1600s heightens research interest in the Bermuda Triangle. Scientists continue their efforts to study the mysteries of the location and the connections to moon stations and also the extraterrestrial encounters. Until now, none of this can be confirmed, making it all scary speculation. A few images of the interior of the bunker have been released. To see them click share, then more
stories.
and photos.
One of the guys we worked with on our team, Victor, was coming down river and he had a load of mahogany wood, and he's piloting this boat, and he sent two people, husband and wife, ahead to go start cooking breakfast on the beach so they could put the little kitchenette thing down and put the propane. He's going nice and slow with the barge coming down the river. They go ahead, reach the beach, they get out, he starts cutting some cane to start making a fire. Tribe comes out, no warning, they just start screaming, they start shooting arrows. The man instantly gets an arrow through the leg, and it pins his leg so he can't run. He tells his wife, go, save yourself, and she does. She jumps in the water, there's arrows falling around her too. And as she's floating down the river, she looks back, and the last thing she sees is these guys getting to her husband and beginning to rip him apart. As Victor comes down the river, he comes down the river and sees his friend disemboweled, opened up, dissected. His parts are all over the beach is red, and they only found out what happened because they found her later on holding onto a stick in the river, and they were like, what happened? And she was like, they just attacked. They don't want people on their land.
I've heard this kind of story before.
And
Leave
that
the man
moment
alone.
lasted for a
It was
long moment
scary,
where I
man.
said, this is the part of the story where they are going to rip me apart, dissect me to see what I eat. There came a day, it was just a trickle, and I was walking on the rocks, and the Andes Mountains were in front of me, and all of a sudden I saw smoke around the next bend. But like my spine is reacting right now as I talk about it because I knew what I was going to see. I went around the bend and I see a few naked people on the beach, and they see me, and we're like a good distance apart. They're on the other side of the river, you know, arrow in hand, bow in hand. They're looking at me, they're clearly conversing, and that moment lasted for a long moment where I said, this is the part of the story where they are going to rip me apart, dissect me to see what I eat. I mean, every other story in the region that we've heard, that's the ending of it. If you're alone with these people, it's not going to go well, and I have nothing to defend myself with. And I turned and I ran for like 3 hours, and I got in the river and I swam for a while, and all my food got wet, and yeah, it took me like a week
3
to get
hours
back to
swim
town.
and ran.
And again,
He's
the
a
things you learn
machine,
in these
bro.
moments.
That's crazy. He's gassing. You know when someone overboard.
Dude, there was one spot that we were exploring. This is again one of those places where you're way past like the edge of civilization. We found this like swamp, and it's always JJ that finds everything. He goes, "Oh no." And I went, "What?" And he goes, "Look at these." And there's like a drag mark, huge black caiman, like monstrous, like a 2-foot thick stomach. And then these monster hands on either side, you know, the feet as it's walking. And we're like following this thing, and it comes to the water. And floating in the water is the bodies of all these dead peccary, all these dead wild boar floating in the water. And I'm like, what am I looking at here? And we got a stick and we brought him in, and we realized a whole herd of pigs had tried to swim across this water. And this monster-ass Godzilla black caiman had just gone and just just took down like 10 of them. Wow. And so we just were like checking out his refrigerator. Like they were just there for later. They were just like floating there. And we were like up to our knees. And I was like, we should probably go, dude. Let's go.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like they're scary big. Like they're scary.
Dad's out in the field. He is digging a post hole, using a post hole digger, heavy piece of equipment. He stops for a second, wipes his brow, looks back, and it's gone. And they find it 2 weeks later up in a tree. They start hearing voices at night, speaking a strange language. They start seeing shapes outside the window at night, big, lurking humanoid shapes, hearing heavy footsteps outside, then hearing heavy footsteps inside. Then their animals started being mutilated. The tracks would lead out into the snow and then just be gone. Calves, mutilated, cut up with surgical
that's the
precision.
Roswell.
Cats,
It's like a ranch
wiped
in
out.
America.
Dogs that were vaporized. Hundreds of these incidents. They would see holes in the sky, like a great big hole in the sky, and things flying in and out of it. Now this rancher, college-educated guy, religious guy, thinks the government is trying to run him off his property. So he's out there at night lurking with a gun trying to catch whatever government agents are doing this stuff. And it's not government agents, it was something else. They start seeing UFOs of all shapes and sizes.
She's recorded that.
You know, let me tell you something, yeah?
You remember this?
You know that Roswell one? You can watch, there's a documentary on it. They're basically killing all the cattle and stuff and draining out the blood, but you can't see no blood. So you like, it's like something is sucking all the blood out. But once the doctors and whatever, the vet guys come and look, the cow has not one bit of blood left. But you don't see no blood on the floor, no tricklets, nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. You should watch that. Well, that is sick.
Viral video where the lady in the plane screamed, "This guy is not real."
I remember this one.
Security
Remember this
camera
one?
Footage of the plane has now been released by an airplane employee. What's seen is quite scary. At the very back of the plane, there's a completely white person with red eyes looking directly into the camera. But that's not all. At minute 23, this person simply vanishes. I mean, that's what the video shows. Of course, none of this can be proven, but take a look at the video for yourselves. I've linked it. If you want to watch it, click share, then more, and then photos.
The only person who I met, I was like,
check.
this guy needs to be like either put to death or kept like in a cage, like under the jail. He said was Ronald DeFeo. Every morning he would make Ronald DeFeo Jr. like little bacon and stuff for him, and he said every morning, like clockwork, 7 days a week, every morning, bring Ronald his food and say, how was your night, Ronald? How you feeling? He was like, good, I feel good. I didn't kill my grandma. It's the only thing. I killed everyone in that house, but I did not get my grandma. So, but everything else, other than that, it's good. There's no rehabilitation for that man. He would say to him, if I don't kill my grandma, I'm not getting into heaven. So he had it warped. He killed his entire family. And he's like, that's how I get to heaven. But I gotta get the grandma. And then he died in prison recently. But I was like, whoa.
That's a sicko.
Nutcase, bro.
I dodged 2 molestation attempts.
Really?
Yeah, probably was like 7 or 8 years old. That was the scarier one because I was at the library and I was by myself. I was always into horror movies and monster movies and shit. So I was reading these books and this guy came up to me and he goes, "You like monster books?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, I have some monster books in my car. You want to see them?"
No.
Okay. And as I'm leaving with this guy, the librarian starts screaming, "Joseph, you get away from that man. That man just got out of jail." And she yells at him to get out of there. And the guy runs away, and I just started crying. I was like, "Whoa!" So I dodged that bullet.
Careful.
There's some sick man out here, man.
Like, I enjoy life, and I know you do, right? Yeah. Enjoy it. It's great. But if you told me it was going to go on forever, I'd go, "Fuck, like this just goes on forever and ever." That's going to give me anxiety.
Nah, that's paradise, bro.
Just let the spirit
We need
happens
paradise.
again and again and again and again and again and again throughout eternity. If that's what life is, if you just live this life over and over again, why would that be scary? But it would. It'd be scary because maybe I enjoy this life, but I want to think that there's something better. But if it's just this life over and over and over again until I get it right, why is that scarier than doing it once? Because it's not scary to do it once. Like right now, I'm having a great time. You're having a great time. Jamie's having a great time. We're having fun, right? Why wouldn't I want to keep doing this? But if I knew that it was going to happen over and over and over again forever, I'd probably freak the fuck out. But that might be what life is.
Life after
He
death.
doesn't know, yeah, he doesn't know.
Did you film any of this?
We didn't think so. But apparently, one of our friends, who's like super religious, was like, "Hey, no matter what, the entire night he was keeping an audio recording in his pocket."
We had no idea.
We had no idea that he was doing
So
that.
nobody talked about it. So if there was something there, no, it didn't know either.
Yeah, we had no idea he had pulled that out. Like, we genuinely were like, okay, no one's filming. We even say in this audio recording, like, no one's filming. There's no bullshit. Like, everyone, please, like, be serious about this. And so we had this conversation back and forth, and we tried to trick it. You know, like, we would ask questions in different manners, like, okay, is there more than one of you? Yes. And then we'd say, are you alone? And he would say no. Back and forth, trying to get this thing, and the story kept straight the entire time. And we were like, there could be something screwing with this. This is like on, you know, the news of being like haunted place.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Well, what was crazy about it too is all the knocks, they weren't just coming from one section. That would make sense if like maybe something outside was like tapping. These knocks would be like below us and then above us to our sides. Some would be louder than other ones. We went out to the hallway a couple times and we realized that we were like the last room besides like this like utility room to our left. And obviously we had like basically that whole like floor to ourselves.
James?
Creepy shit. It could be jeans, yeah.
I fucked my sister when I was 12. When I started hitchhiking, people said, no one's gonna pick you up. I go, I don't think so. I think if I put my thumb out and ask for help, someone's gonna give it to me. And with that, I got to see the world for free. I got to go everywhere. What happened was I would sit shotgun and two things would happen. Either the driver has a long drive and they want someone to talk to, or they want me to talk to them. And something would happen. And like, I'm in the car right now with a complete stranger. Anything could happen. And the first hour is always small talk. How long you been on the road? Well, what you do? You know, it's all that kind of stuff. Something switches when they know I'm about to get out or whatever. I'm never gonna see this guy again. We've been talking about news, sports, and weather for an hour. Last 10 minutes, I fucked my sister when I was 12. Everything comes out. I've hitchhiked.
How old was he? He was 12. How old was his sister?
8. I mean, everything. Drugs, incest. You know, I killed somebody.
A guy called
Murder confessions.
Murder confession.
A guy confessed to me that he was thinking of raping me when I stayed at his house.
Oh Jesus! You
Like-
stayed at his house? You didn't just hitchhike. You hitch-housed?
This guy is finito.
Oh, that's some. Wallahi, I'm not doing
Have you
that.
ever heard of Annabelle?
Not without a gun.
Annabelle is a movie franchise. It's based on a real doll. So the real doll is like apparently the second most haunted in the world, and Robert is the number one most haunted in the world. What we didn't realize is how many people had experiences with the doll. They calculated to more than 10,000 people have written in apology letters to Robert to ask for forgiveness because of the curse that he put on them.
What is the story behind this doll? Like, why is it supposedly haunted?
It's like a 3.5 foot tall doll. It's like a life-size type doll. It's really weird.
Looks
He
scary,
gave it
I'm not
to
gonna lie.
his son, and he gave his first name and his clothes to this doll. And so the kid and the doll became best friends for years and years and years. And he basically
You believe in
accompanied this guy, and this baby became
You believe that?
Robert himself.
No.
But over the course of
There's
his
magic,
childhood
though.
and all the way up until
Could be
he
magic,
left
though.
his
Sick, yeah.
parents' house to go to college, he would have horrible things happen to him because of this dog.
Scary.
That isn't a dog.
Very creepy. Very creepy.
Creepy.
Yeah.
But did you see that about the guy who's talking about the
What?
What you call it? In the island where they were naked, whatever.
Yeah. But that's like the Amazonian people, right? Yeah, you have to.
Them people that live there, they can't live. Apparently, they can't live on, like, not on, like, on the street, like places like us. They won't last long, I heard, because the air they breathe and.
Yeah. No, it's not only that. Straight away, as soon as we get in contact with them, because their immune system is pure. Our one has got bare nonsense in it. We kill them straight away. They all die.
Yeah.
Just from us even like breathing on them.
That's
That's crazy. That's the end of the video, guys. We've got some more of Joe Rogan creepy stories. On this, we'll put another one out. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all the socials, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace out.
Peace out.